Morning television thrives on light conversation, celebrity smiles, and feel-good moments, but that familiar formula unraveled in spectacular fashion when pop superstar Gwen Stefani appeared on Good Morning America for what was supposed to be a celebratory interview. Instead, the segment spiraled into a tense verbal clash with veteran host George Stephanopoulos, one that ended with Gwen abruptly storming off set, leaving stunned viewers and producers scrambling to salvage the broadcast. The segment that started smoothly, the morning began like any other. Stephanopoulos introduced Gwen with enthusiasm, praising her career as the frontwoman of No Doubt, her solo pop success, and her recent return to the spotlight. Gwen entered in her trademark bold style, platinum blonde hair perfectly styled, bright lipstick, and an outfit that screamed both fashion and confidence. At first, the conversation flowed easily. They discussed Gwen's new music project, her role on The Voice, and her experience balancing family life with a demanding career. Gwen joked about juggling motherhood and music, drawing laughter from the live audience, but the light-hearted tone quickly shifted once Stephanopoulos began steering the conversation into more sensitive territory. The first signs of tension, Stephanopoulos pivoted from music to Gwen's personal life, specifically her high-profile marriage to Blake Shelton. He asked whether their relationship sometimes overshadowed her music career. Gwen's smile tightened. "I've been making music my whole life. My fans know who I am as an artist. Blake and I support each other, but that doesn't define me," she replied, her tone calm but defensive. Rather than moving on, Stephanopoulos pressed further, asking, "Some critics say that being tied to Blake Shelton's country image has shifted how people see you. Do you worry about being more known as a Blake's wife than Gwen the pop star?" The audience murmured, sensing the tension. Gwen sat straighter in her chair and replied firmly, "I don't measure myself by critics or labels. I've always been Gwen from Tragic Kingdom to today. If people can't see that, that's their issue, not mine." Sparks began to fly. What might have ended there escalated once Stephanopoulos brought up past controversies surrounding Gwen's music style. He referenced criticism about her use of cultural imagery in her videos and performances. Looking back, he asked, "Do you regret some of the choices you made in terms of cultural representation in your early career?" Gwen frowned, clearly displeased. "I've always celebrated cultures through my art. Everything I have done has come from a place of admiration, creativity, and love. I don't regret my journey. It made me who I am as an artist." Her response drew applause from some in the audience, but Stephanopoulos didn't let up. He followed with, "But do you understand why some people still find those choices problematic?" At that point, Gwen's patience thinned. "George, I came here to share my music and talk about what I'm doing now. I'm not here to be put on trial for my past. I've been in this business for decades. I don't need to defend my existence to anyone." The exchange turns heated. The atmosphere on set grew palpably uncomfortable. Gwen's fiery personality, usually a source of charm, now manifested as open irritation. She leaned forward and said, "You know, I expected this to be a fun conversation. Instead, it feels like I'm being attacked. I don't sit at home thinking about what the critics say. I think about my fans, my art, and my family. If that's not enough for this show, then maybe I shouldn't be here." Stephanopoulos tried to smooth things over, replying, "Gwen, we're just asking the questions people are curious about." But Gwen snapped back, "Curious, or looking for a headline? Because there's a difference." The crowd gasped at her sharp tone. The co-hosts at the side of the stage shifted uncomfortably, clearly unsure whether to step in. The breaking point, the final straw, came when Stephanopoulos attempted to bring up Gwen's fashion line and how it has faced its own share of controversy over the years. Before he could even finish the question, Gwen raised her hand. "That's it, I'm not doing this," she said bluntly, unhooking her microphone. The live audience gasped as Gwen stood up from her chair. "I came here to promote my music and connect with fans. Instead, I feel like I've been ambushed. I don't have to sit here and take this." Stephanopoulos tried to interject, "Hey Gwen, wait, let's talk this out," but she was already walking off stage. "I'm done," she said firmly as she exited, leaving producers scrambling to cut to commercial. The studio in shock, as Gwen disappeared backstage. The studio atmosphere was electric with disbelief. Audience members exchanged shocked whispers. Some applauded her bold exit, while others shook their heads. The cameras quickly cut to Stephanopoulos, who looked rattled but maintained composure. With a measured tone, he said, "Well, that was unexpected. We'll be right back." The show then cut to an abrupt commercial break, leaving viewers at home just as stunned as those in the studio. Viewers react. Almost immediately, clips of Gwen storming off began circulating online. Fans rushed to defend her, arguing she had been disrespected by intrusive questioning. Others criticized her for being unprofessional and walking out instead of addressing the issues. The incident became a national talking point within hours. Morning TV is rarely known for explosive confrontations, and the sight of a global superstar storming off set was instantly unforgettable. Behind the scenes, insiders later revealed that Gwen had been briefed ahead of time about potential sensitive topics. However, she reportedly made it clear she did not want to discuss controversies or her marriage at length. When Stephanopoulos pressed anyway, she felt cornered and ambushed, according to one source close to her team. Producers, meanwhile, were said to be furious that the interview had spiraled so badly. One staffer admitted, "We wanted to balance the fun with a few tougher questions, but it backfired in the worst possible way." When Stefani stormed off the Good Morning America set after her fiery exchange with George Stephanopoulos, the moment didn't just end with the commercial break and sent shockwaves through the entertainment world. In the days that followed, the walk-off dominated headlines, flooded social media, and raised uncomfortable questions about celebrity interviews, professional boundaries, and the role of morning television. Social media meltdown. Almost immediately after the broadcast, clips of Gwen's dramatic exit spread like wildfire across TikTok, X, formerly Twitter, and Instagram. Hashtags like #GwenStormsOff, #TeamGwen, and #Stephanopoulos vs Gwen began trending within hours. Team Gwen fans rallied behind the pop icon, arguing that she had every right to protect her boundaries. "She's not on trial, she's an artist promoting her music." George crossed the line, one fan tweeted. Others praised Gwen for refusing to tolerate what they perceived as disrespectful questions. Team George, some viewers defended Stephanopoulos, saying he was simply doing his job by asking about controversial topics. "If Gwen can't handle tough questions, she shouldn't do live interviews," one critic wrote. The meme culture, the internet had a field day with the footage. GIFs of Gwen pulling off her microphone were turned into memes captioned, "Me leaving a meeting that should have been an email," or "When the group chat gets too messy." What could have been a PR disaster for Gwen ironically expanded her reach, particularly among younger audiences who discovered her through viral memes. Mainstream media reactions. Entertainment media jumped on the story, each outlet putting its own spin on the drama. TMZ led with the sensational headline, "Gwen Stefani explodes on GMA, walks out on Stephanopoulos." People magazine struck a softer tone, portraying Gwen as an artist unfairly ambushed by questions outside her agreed scope. Variety,